Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? Nah, 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 no drama, yeah. Nah, 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 no drama, yeah. Nah, 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 no drama, yeah, yeah.
Hey friends, and welcome Tuesday. Welcome to Cleaning Life with Kia. Thank you all so much for being here. I am Kia Smith. I am the owner and founder of Help Now. It is a cleaning, decluttering, organizing, home management business that is based here in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area. And I am just using my business as a platform here to just give tips, spread awareness, help people where they are. You may not be able to hire a house cleaner, or you may not even want people in your home like that. So here I am to just give you all those essentials right in your home without me being there. So our mission is to help our clients manage their homes and organize parts of their lives that matter the most by bringing families and communities together through complete household management. We have a passion to help, heal, and nourish our clients through life when they need help now or later. Yes. All right, everybody. So we have a hot topic. We have a hot topic. We have a very fun and exciting, but yet very serious topic this evening. And so, since I've announced it, it was a few weeks ago, I announced it, that everybody has just really been on fire about this topic because a lot of people, we're living this life. And I've said plenty of times that here on Cleaning Life with Kia, we're going to talk about cleaning, we're going to talk about life and everything in between, because somehow, some way, it all fits together. It all fits together. So, this particular topic, a lot of people are dealing with it, especially in these times, and that is adult children living at home. And a lot of people are out here suffering in silence. I don't know, people are feeling embarrassed about things that be going on, in their home. We grew up in a time, it's like, whatever go home, whatever go on, and this house is stay in this house, and all of that shit. But just learning just over the years, people have been traumatized from all this silence and not speaking, because it'd be so many people going through the same stuff, but nobody wants to share because they be having all these feelings and yada yada yada. And what you don't know is, if you communicate and you talk, you can get these things out, come up with solutions, and find comfort and just knowing that you're not by yourself, because no one's alone. Now, everybody want to be tight-lipped and act like they got it all together, but nobody just has it all together. You just don't, and that's fine. It doesn't mean your life has to be a chaotic, disastrous mess, but we all have to straighten out those kinks from time to time. And like I said, this is a hot topic because the way times are, with everything being so expensive and just the way things are, a lot of adult children are home with their parents or parents, so all right, we're just going to jump in, everybody. Adult children living at home and their responsibilities. Again, this is a great topic, and we're just going to get to it. And when I say adult children, I'm not just talking about young adult children exclusively. I'm talking about any adult child that's living at home with their parents, whether you're 19, in your teens, like my son is, or in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, whatever. If you're an adult, that's living at home with your parents or parents, it just kind of encompasses. It really doesn't matter the age. So again, say hello to my son, Samaj. He is my oldest. There's your Nene. You should say hello. So he's 19. And so I'm currently living the experience of having an adult child at home. So what better way to get in the mind of a 19-year-old who has began to navigate his life while still living at home. Um, and I'll have a few questions for him here in a minute, and he'll be on his way. So just tell everybody
Hey everyone.
this is his first time on here, and it's like it's a lot more than he think it is. Like we're here by ourselves, but we're not by ourselves. So before I get started with this, so disclaimer. So this topic is obviously not for or directed towards any adult children living at home with any type of disabilities or special needs, or have any like they have bad health or anything like that. I'm not talking about those adult children because they truly, need the support and need the help. I'm talking about these unwilling but able, lazy ass bodies that don't know the definition of teamwork, living all up in your house, all grown, and think they know stuff and don't know. Good grief. I'm finna get all in it. So, not only do I have a 19-year-old to share this experience with, through me being in business for almost 7 years, I've had the privilege of witnessing and assisting families in this element. It is not easy, nor is it for the faint. Too many grown people in the house. Like that is a big thing if you don't have an understanding. If you're not communicating and you don't have an understanding, it will be the worst experience of your fucking life if you don't have some type of order and structure. So back to you. So I got you a few little questions. I got wine too, because I can't wait to hear his responses so I can rebuttal. So, how do you feel about living home as a young adult? How does that feel to you?
So old.
You feel old?
Not old, but like just I explain it. Just seeing my like brothers just do whatever I used to do
Mm-hmm.
that I can't like do no more.
Yeah, because you would.
Adult.
You're gotten older, and I know you're like an adult, but you're 19, so I mean you're a young adult. I don't even really consider you like an adult by law. Yes, you're 19, you're an adult, but really um you're still kind of like a kid. So yeah, it is different when you're home now. You're in this space of a young adult, but then you still have younger brothers that are and still going to school. Um, the relationship is different because I don't coddle them and I don't baby them, but like certain things that I may still continue to do for them, not so much for you. Because why?
Older.
Yeah, you're a young adult, and we're transitioning you into that space. Um, as time move on. So how do you feel about having responsibilities, being an adult at home? Like the things that you have to do here.
A lot more than before.
You feel it's a lot more
Not
than
a,
before?
not a lot more, but it's just like probably I can't like just sit on the game all day
Well,
or anything like that.
I mean, yeah, but you're not gonna do that anyway
No,
because you got other stuff you
I know in
working
general.
and
Yeah, I know that like in general, but I'm just saying.
okay. So you feel like you have more
No,
responsibilities.
not
You have more responsibilities, or you're okay. So maybe you'll be able to clear it up with this next question. Like, do you feel like you do a good job of balancing your personal life and your household responsibilities up in here? You
kind
think you do a good job of balancing that out?
of, I can do better with my room.
You think you could do better? Okay.
With my get to the room
Just your room.
and I'll say the bathroom
So,
because of my hair because I have a lot of hair, so my head sheds a lot.
okay, but that's just with somebody. Okay,
Yeah.
so but then guess what? So that's really just you cleaning up behind yourself.
Yeah.
That's not really you taking on household responsibilities, extra responsibilities, doing anything extra. You're just cleaning up behind yourself. It ain't nothing extra. Like I'm not gonna compliment you or high five you because you're cleaning up behind yourself. I'm talking about so let me get my view on it. Oh my god, let me get a sip. Because I'm gonna tell. So I believe the transition is different. Yes, so the transition is different. I will give you that because so That's another thing I was going to mention later. But like, so when I have 4 boys, then they're all at home. So I have 3 that are still in school, and then he's gone on about his adult life, doing what he do. But even with school and working all of that type of stuff, his schedule isn't the same. It'll never be the same as his brothers. He's finished that part. So at one point, they were all getting up in the morning. They were all going to school at a certain time. They were all moving in different directions, but they still kind of had the same. Um, they had the same path to take every day, the same routine because they were doing the same. But like now, it's different because he's older. So the rules and the response, everything has kind of shifted because whereas like now, say he gets in from where he gets off at, like if he gets off at 10, he comes in. Well, guess what? His brothers have to go to school in the morning. So we have to put other rules and we have to put other things in place. Like Samaje is loud. So like if he come in after work and he talking on his phone, everybody can hear him. His voice is just kind of deep and it carries. It won't be so much on here because I guess he's shy or something. But on a regular, that's not the case. So as time go on, like the rules change, the requirements change, things change, and you have to adjust. You have to adjust. So far as his responsibilities, actually, I think that you slacked up. For sure he slacked up. And I'm gonna tell you why. So now he's out of school. He has a vehicle and he has like a life. So when I tell you he be gone, like he be on the move like that, and there's nothing like that. Like he's not doing bad stuff. He just be out doing other stuff. So whereas when he was in the home all the time, before like young adulthood, and I could kind of control the scenario a little bit more because he was there. So now it's like him finding time to do all of this stuff in between the things that he's supposed to do, and 2, the things that he wants to do. And so he's having a hard time because I like the house to kind of just be at a flow. He doesn't assume the responsibility. Okay, like I'm gonna do this. He'll knock some stuff out, but like my kids, they just kind of move different because I've been grooming them since they were small. So it's not a lot of opposition between us or the other boys because I have been grooming him since he was little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So I decided to go through all of that, and it's hard even when they're small because it takes time and it's frustrating. But I knew early on that if I committed to that early on, that it would be better for me once they got older, because when they understand that this is just what it is and this is what we do, it's not a lot of opposition later on. It's when, and a lot of parents, y'all are gonna not want to hear this, but it's just facts, and I'm not judging or anything, but it's just the truth. People be sitting there scratching their head like they don't know what happened. But what happened is if you didn't groom your child into young adulthood, if you didn't groom them the whole time, and then now they're adults. Like you didn't groom, and now they're adults, and now they in your house, or they left your house and came back, or some they never leave the house. But you never groomed them and trained them to clean and be respectful and do this and do that and do that. And then all of a sudden you just think that because they're adults now that they are just supposed to know what to do and how to do. And that's not the case. And that's not fair. And as for you, I'm just gonna continue to be patient with you. Sometimes I be wanting to choke shit sometimes. But at the end of the day, I would love you, right? Yeah, I love my kids and they know that. Like it's not ever a question, or they're not ever like undecided about that, but like I mean that's just facts. They know that has been uh, duly noted all these years, and I care for my kids. So I just like want you to know that as far as you being so young, as parents and as house people myself, being at home, like I don't mind you being at home. Like it gives you, well, it's like I mind and I don't mind. Because in some cases I'll be like, I just wish he would go. But it ain't, it's because like when they're at this age, they're still leading with ego. They think they know everything. The big, I ain't gotta say all of that, but he's a good kid. So that's not that's not it. I feel comfortable with him being here. First of all, it gives me a peace of mind because it's so much going on in the world. And I like the fact that I know that he's home, after he's done with work and doing whatever it is that he's doing, that he's home at the end of the day, that he's safe and that he's happy. So that's my, and I know that he's still maturing. It's like just because you turn 18, 19, like you're not done growing yet. And then the maturity level just be so different for different people. So I know like with him, he still has more maturing to do. And I want to be able to be around him so that I can nurture that, because once they get out on their own, they have all these other influences and stuff like that. They not helping these kids one way or the other, just out here just doing stuff. And then they fall on hard times or something like that, or, they just understand that the world ain't what they thought it was. You coming back home and it's a mess because you've been out here all but wild. And then you think it better come in my house and disrupt what I've been building in my piece. I'm not going to do that. But what we're trying to do, I know I'll say for me and any other like responsible parent that have young adults at home, all we're trying to do is armor you up for what's waiting out there in the real world. Like I tell you that all the time. And like any parent that's on here that is living the life. Now you do have some sorry parents out there. Like it's sorry kids, sorry parents, it's just everybody sorry. Everything's sorry. But this is not the case. It's not one of those cases. But we have a true concern because like we know what's outside. Like it's scary as hell in the real world out there. Like you got to be ready when you go out there. Like you have to be ready. And I don't want you to be out there like you stumbling around in the dark or anything. Because listen, in the real world, listen, y'all say it with me, out there, in podcast land. What's out there in the streets for these young people? They lions and tigers and bills. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bills. Oh my. Lions and tigers and bills. Oh my. Emphasis on the bills. So take your time, enjoy your life. That's all I will say. I do appreciate it. And we are go ahead we've gone ahead before because like I said, they get older, they gonna try to, have it like, and we'll talk about that a little bit later, but overall, because you're gonna have bumps in the road. And even when you have bumps in the road, it doesn't mean they're a bad kid or things are going downhill or anything like that. It's just a bump in the road, and you have to figure that thing out. But I appreciate you for holding it together because it's not easy transitioning out here in the world. And it's not easy even when you're at home with your parents because like you have I have requirements and some days I might be tired, some days I might be this, some days I might be that. But all I want to say is I love you and just to keep holding on. It's a whole big old world out there and I want you to be your best person. You're doing a great job now, but I want you to be your best person so that we can have this easy transition together. And then you never ever know what's gonna happen in the future. Like, you move out, you may have to move out, and then you might have to move back in with my ass. Hell, I might have to move in with your ass. I don't know what might happen. But the good thing is that we have good communication. We understand each other. We love each other. I know that you love me, and you don't want to see me stressed out and crazy, and I don't want to see you stressed out and feeling some type of way. So keep up the good work. I love you. Tell the people bye. Yay. All right. So he's gonna go. He got other stuff to do. Okay. So now that he gone, I'm gonna really talk about his ass. No, I'm just playing. He's a good kid. But again, like I said, as for him, I've groomed all of them since they were small, and I've required them to like clean up. And as he's gotten older, he's just transitioning to this space of young adulthood, and he's just carrying out what I've taught him over the years into this new trajectory of life. And so I'm just grateful for that. And although I've done all of that, I know as far as grooming to help him be self-sufficient and helpful, lines get crossed from time to time and shit be hitting the fan from time to time. Like one time, as sweet as he is, I don't know what was eating on my child this particular evening. But I was like, OMG. Like I've already like I'm the type of person like it's not gonna be a surprise what's gonna happen if certain lines get crossed or disrespect or something happen. Like I explained to them and I've explained to them a lot and continuously, you know, like just don't play with me. Just don't play with me like that. Just don't do it. But I don't know what happened. But listen, because I told them before, they try to, they'll try to test you with their talking back and trying to be a little smart. Oh, he tried it. Like, I have no tolerance for this stuff. And I told him all the time, I said, Mondre, don't get put out. I'll put you out. And in my mind, it's like, I ain't going to just put you out forever. Not like it's just an instant habit, but I will do some shit to let you know that I am not bluffing and I'm not playing with you because literally, ultimately, that's what's going to happen. Because I'm not going to be in my own house paying bills, suffering, crying, and acting a fool with a kid. No, you gotta go. And I don't feel no way about it. I'm just not. I put his ass out, but it was just for like a night. They had to come and get him. I'm like, I don't know where you're going, what you're doing, where y'all gonna be. I don't care, but I'm not. Uh, we're not doing it. We're not gonna do that. And honestly, we have not had a problem ever since. Like we haven't had a problem ever since. And you're gonna have those ups and downs. Even the best of kids, they have their days sometime, and it's our responsibility too as adults. Don't just fly completely off the handle. Like when I told him to get out, I was very gentle. I'm like, oh, you gotta go. You gotta go. He was like, no, I didn't do nothing. I was like, dude, we're so past the conversation because when I was talking to you and trying to communicate and do all this and do all that. So after all that's done, there's no going back. And it's like, and don't think. And then another thing they'll do too, I'm telling you, with these kids at home, they'll do, especially when they're younger, they'll test you. So it's always a different dynamic if the mother and the father's in the house. So for me right now, it's just me. You know what I'm saying? So certain stuff they're not gonna try if it's a male there. And honestly, they're really respectful. Like they don't really play them games. But there was the one time, you know, that he tried it, and I just had to let him know. And I put his ass out that night, and he was able to come back the next day or whatever. We had to have a conversation. I didn't harp on it. I didn't keep talking about it. I didn't keep threatening. We just moved on. You just have to move on so that you can get to the part where you're healing and you're figuring this stuff out. You know, um, and no, in kids, and it doesn't matter that he's a young adult. No matter what age, they will try you. Period, just to see if you're going to make good on any of the threats or promises that you make. They will try you because they feel like a lot of kids feel this way. That no matter how, oh, that's my mama, that's my daddy, that's my dang on. I don't care who I am to you. Like certain things, it's just a no pass. It's just a no go. And I be telling them to their face, I'm like, dude, that stuff not gonna fly. It doesn't matter if you're my kid. It don't matter if you're my mama. Like I don't care who you are. Like certain stuff is just a no fly zone for me because it's unnecessary and uncalled for. So we're not even gonna play around and dance around. But again, like I said, we ain't had that problem again. Um, and so no matter what the age and no matter the circumstances, so you can be, 19 in your 20s, 30s, 40s, or 50s. And no matter what the circumstances are as to why they're living at home. And it's a lot of different reasons why people don't live at home. Some people disclose and discuss and some people don't, but you may be living at home. Like I have my 19-year-old, like he graduated high school and he's just still here while he's working and or going to school. Sometimes people they fall on hard times. Life is crazy out here. Like it is hard to make it out here by yourself, rent and bills and freaking groceries and all of that. Like the best thing to do is team up, but people just won't do right. Like I said, you may have to come home and you have to regroup. I had to go home as an adult. I was younger, but oh yeah, went out there in that big old world and like I was doing my thing and it was all right, but it was just a circumstance where I had to come home. Had to get my mind together and get my stuff together before I headed back out again. So, it doesn't matter. You can have a kid and they just getting out of jail. That be happening a lot. So whatever it is, This is the most important part. No matter how old they are, no matter what's going on, a conversation must be had. A conversation must be had. And that's another thing. Like these days, people do not like to communicate. People do not like to talk. They feel like in order to have, like I could be sitting having a conversation in this tone and this manner, and people will get offended. And it's not because anything that I'm saying is wrong per se. It's just people just don't want to hear the truth and people don't want to do right. So anything to deflect, off of the truth and what's right, that's just what they're going to do. But you must have a conversation. And the thing about it with a conversation is like you can engage, and that's what we should do. We're adults and everything, but it's your choice whether you want to take it in and actually believe what I'm saying. Because when I make good on what I say, I ain't gonna be asking you, well, did you hear me? I was telling you, did you hear what it said? I'm not gonna ask you none of that because if we're sitting and we're having a conversation, like we should all be on one page, and I'm not gonna keep going back and forth. So then when it's time, like I said, to make good, oh well. But whether they're ready for it or not, a conversation must be had. You cannot allow people in your space, even your own children, without having a discussion about boundaries and what's required, not expected, but what I require you to do. Talk about the type of energy that should be nurtured and maintained in the home. You have adult kids there and they want to bring all their energy and they want to bring all their drama and because if their lives are in the mess, they're your kids, but they have little lives of their own and they have other shit going on. They'll bring that energy into the house. Like Smacha is like, whatever you got going on in your little life, he out moving around your little friends, or if you're dating or whatever the case may be, or even if you're at work and they get on your, like, you can't come up in here with that. Like, I have set the tone and it is extremely peaceful in my home. The only time it get kind of off and kind of crazy is if they did something and the beast didn't have to come out there. I just have to be a little beast. Just have to come out with my little horns and they expect it. And that don't even be too bad because I can speak in this manner and they know that I mean what I say and I say that I mean. And 9 times out of 10, they know that they were probably out of line and they knew whatever I said or did, they had it coming. So, yeah, they will try you to make sure, or just to see if you're going to make good on your promises. And you have to talk about the consequences that will occur if the agreement is breached. If they don't do what it is that everybody agreed to do, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to talk about what's going to happen. As a result, you must be ready to execute and make good on whatever the consequences are. When they don't do what they agreed to do. Again, children will test you. It don't matter how old, and it ain't even just children. People in general will test you. You cannot be soft. You don't have to be mean. You don't have to be hard, but you have to be firm. Where there is no communication, there is confusion. And where there is no order, there is chaos. Period. So you have to ask yourself if you want to live in confusion and chaos in a place where you pay the bills. That's the part that's so crazy. People being in the house, and especially if you're the main person paying all the bills. So then you mean to tell me, oh God, you mean to tell me I got to come up in here and pay all the bills? You're not going to help me clean. I didn't say come in here and clean up everything. I pay all the bills. I'm not doing anything. I'm offering a suggestion where we're like a team and we all do this stuff, together so that no one person gets worn out. I think I made a post, it was maybe about a week or two ago, but it was something about invisible labor. Like there is a thing called invisible labor because it is invisible labor. It's all the labor that you're doing mentally that people can't see that you're doing in process. So you mean to tell me I got to do all the invisible labor? I got to do all this physical labor. I got to pay all these bills. I got to keep everything straight so that I can keep a person in my house that's not gonna help or contribute. And you're gonna talk shit? Not on my watch. And that's why a lot of people be out here stressed out because they just let it, I don't know what to do. And, they don't, you know, you better figure out like if they don't plan, like you got to be okay with whatever your decision. Like somebody know, like we were going somewhere this weekend and on our way home, we were passing by apartments. I'm like, whoo, them apartments look nice, don't they? Wonder how much. Because I'm not forcing him about the house. He know he can be home, but it has to be worth everybody's while. You can't just be up in this mug like that. But the thing with him, if I felt like if he was mature enough to get his own place and really could handle it, he would be out here. Like he just a different kid. He ain't a bad kid. He just want to do his thing, move how he want to move, do what he wants. He was talking about, I think I could do better with the bathroom, cleaning up my hair. So I had to like finally like clip a little bit ends of his hair. He be having all these fairy knots. His hair is the texture. It's so thick and it's just a different texture. It's thick and it's pretty, but he don't keep it trimmed like it needs. I'm like, you gotta trim it. You let it grow out a certain way. But anyway, your hair gonna be falling when you wash it and do stuff. But every day he in there playing his hair, stuff like that. It be hair everywhere, like in the bathroom, be like a trail of hair, and I be on him like every single day. He just want to do stuff the way, and I'm like, go to your own. He can go to your own place. You can have hair all over that mug, whatever you want to do, however you want it. His room, the boy hygiene is just magnifique. Hygiene, and even his room, it ain't nasty. It ain't like some people are just filthy nasty. It's not. He the type of person like he don't want to make the bed. He don't have dirty laundry. He'll wash all his laundry. He gonna keep his stuff clean because he got to move a certain way. But the clean clothes just piled up everywhere. He the type of kid that he'll go in his drawers. He leave the drawers open. It just stuff be out of order. I'm just like, dang, dude. For that reason, like, you need your own space. But I know that he's just not ready for that in general. And then like I said, for me, it's just a plus because I'm in this transition where I'm having to learn how to let him go a little bit at a time. So, it's hard. You're just away from the house all the time. I'll be, where he at? Did he go home? Did he make it home? Is he safe? And all of that. So, all of that is just going to take time. And the reality is, times are really hard. And now children of all ages are going home in order to survive out here. And that's okay. You got to do what you got to do. That's okay. It doesn't always have to be a bad situation. I mean, I'm talking about those situations that kind of turn, but I mean, I don't think I have to have a conversation about the people that actually do right. Like if I were to knock on my mom's door today and say I had to stay there for whatever reason, her reservations won't be like, oh my God, she gonna come in here, she nasty, she dirty, like blah, blah, blah. Like she knows that like she'll be excited on that note that I'm there because I make it my business to be indispensable. You can't be sitting here um and receiving help and all this stuff from other people and then you just sitting there like it's owed to you. And that's another thing with just people in general. They just feel like things are owed to them and nothing is owed to you. You better do the right thing and hope that people are fool with you and help you. um but like I said, they're going home in order to survive out here, and you must do what you got to do um to make it so nobody's nobody's judging it. And you got to do what you got to do to make life work. But if multiple adults are living in the same home, the goal is to come together and make the situation work for all parties involved, not just for the parents, not just for the children, but for everybody. And more times than not, I've witnessed adult children live or move back home with their parents, and they just won't do right. Like um, they just don't do right. We live in a time where we really need each other and could benefit greatly if everyone just played their role. And a lot of people don't. Is it's just the bottom line. It has to be some type of order. Uh, and it has to be peaceful up in here. And that's just like for me. Like in my house, like you got to know how you want to run your house, and you got to know how you want things, and then everybody has to fall into place with it. But if your house is in disarray and you don't have any order and you don't have any structure, and you can't expect somebody to come in there and just they're following what they're following what. And like even with my son, like I need to go back and revamp the responsibilities, because what happened with him is I just groomed him the way that he is. So he just transitioned. So he's just been continuing to do what it is that he's been doing over all these years. But now since he's older, like we still need to have another conversation. Like it's not bad right now, but I see it. Like we're gonna have another conversation about other roles and responsibilities because he's older now. So I require him to move differently and I require more of him. And it's not in a bad way. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on him that's going to overwhelm him or frustrate him. It'll be what he can handle, but it's necessary because, like I said, they're not going to take off the gloves when he get out there in the real world. Like ain't nobody taking no, they coming out with full blows. So for me, I'm just trying to prepare him. But like when they get older and they don't want to listen, and it's just a lot. And I'm just finding that more people are having to move in together in order to survive. But we got to have some order up in here, and it has to be peaceful. So we can't have order and we can't have peace. One of us got to go. Somebody got to go, and it ain't me because I pay the cost to be the boss, and that's just that. And I don't rub that in their face, but I mean that's just a fact. I tell my kids right now all the time, like I love you, but if you ever put me in a position ever where I gotta choose you or my peace, look, peace to them because I'm choosing my peace. There are some parents out here, excuse me, close your ears. Their children, young adults, not only have, but still are worrying the fuck out of them. And the parents sit, y'all allow them kids to drive y'all crazy. I'm not old, what I would consider old, but I'm in a good place in my life and I want to enjoy my life. All that extra shit, all that, like I'm past all of that. Like I need peace in my life, and nobody comes before my peace. Nobody. There's not a person breathing that comes before my peace. I'm choosing my peace. Um, and we could just go on and on and on like it's a broad topic. It is a important topic, but it really just boils down to like this. Like I said before, you have to have an intentional conversation with who's ever in your home, and you have to discuss the rules and the requirements. Period. You just have to. It's good to have a conversation, get stuff, because guess what? When we're talking, you get a chance to hear what's on my mind and what's on my heart and how I'm feeling. And I get a chance, and you get a chance to do the same. I get a chance to hear the same from you. So we must have, and then not just a conversation, an intentional conversation. And when I say intentional, I'm not saying like you didn't got off from work, you rushing home, you flying down the highway, you stressed out, you didn't had a bad day, but you know you need to have a conversation, and then y'all just sitting at the table or on the couch and nobody's really paying attention, people on their phone. You haven't really mapped out your thoughts or your true feelings and what you really would like to see happen or would need to happen. Like it's not, it has to be intentional. Yes, we can have a conversation, but it needs to be an intentional conversation. Okay. Also, don't weaponize the fact that you're the parent and the fact that it's your house. Don't weaponize that. Just like I was saying earlier about how kids be like, well, that's my mama. She don't got, that's my mama. Ain't got to do this. Don't weaponize the fact that you're the parent and that's your house. You know how parents do. This my house. I'm the parent. I'm the parent. This is my house. Like you are going to, all your words are gonna fall on deaf ears. Don't weaponize the fact. You know what I'm saying? They know that you're the parent, you're the adult. Or well, like I said, they're adult children, they're adult too. They're adult children, so they're adults too. But you're the parent that owns the house. You know what I'm saying? That's paying the rent or own the house. But don't weaponize it. You don't have to be throwing it all up in their face. Well, I'm your mama. Like that is so tacky. Like you must have something else to say with some sense. Like do not state the obvious. Like they don't want to hear that. You could be talking about some other things that could really be getting you on down the road to solutions, versus, that type of stuff. Um, Be ready at the drop of a hat to execute any consequences that you set as a result of non-compliance. Period. If you tell them, hey, this is what it is, this, and this needs to happen, yada, 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 because everybody's household is different, it's structured different, it functions differently. So you got to have a conversation. Like, I can't tell you and give you the blueprint for what we got going on because my life and my situation and everything is different. So you have to get your own blueprint, but these things should be something that's just embedded inside of the blueprint, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be ready. Just like I had told Samaj before, I had been told Samaj because I could tell, like, it's like, when they graduate high school, like, they be kind of trying to try a little bit, like, you know what I'm saying? So I knew at some point it was gonna get, you know what I'm saying? Like, my kids, they're not the type of kids, they're not violent. I don't worry about them putting their hands on us. Some people be scared of their kids. Some people be scared as hell. And I would never live in a house with anybody that I'm afraid of. Like, police, come get these people. Come get this. Like, I don't know who need to come and get you. I don't know what need to happen. But I didn't even talk about that because that is not even, I don't know what to say about that. I know I wouldn't put up with it, but I don't deal with it. So I can't speak a whole. I know I wouldn't deal with it, but I can't just speak a lot because there are some parents out here that are absolutely terrified of their children. I'm telling you, they won't tell them to clean up. They won't tell them to move. They won't tell them to blink. They won't tell them to clean. They won't tell them to do nothing because they are afraid. But I would not be living in the house, and whatever you do, what happened to you whenever you get outside, that's on you because you had the opportunity to be up in here in a warm, cozy home, food in the fridge. You know what I'm saying? People loving on you and all of that. But if you want to act a fool, you go out there in the street where the fools are. We ain't no fools up in here, but you're not gonna be talking to me crazy. And it's just how you just don't do that. No matter the age, these kids will run all over you and they will disrespect you if you allow it. Again, it doesn't matter what age they are. Like I said, I'm like, he's 19, he's out here, think he knows a little something. He don't know shit, they don't know nothing. But then you got people that's 40, and it's the same thing, like equivalent to my 19-year-old. So it doesn't matter what age they are. So the good thing about what I do with my business is, like, after all these years, I have seen so many different scenarios where this was the case, having adult kids living at home. So I had this one client, and I think her son was maybe like 23 years old, 23, maybe 24, something like that, at home. So I have my client, she's a single mom. She has an older son, 23, 24 years old, something like that. Then she had this really big ass gap. Then she had like a 4-year-old son, two sons, one like 23, 24, the other one like 4 years old. And the 4-year-old was autistic. Single mom, working, autistic baby, trying to keep her sanity together, trying to just keep life together. And when I tell you that mama is tired, tired, tired. But this is the part that got me. So, you go, you do the assessment, and, they tell me everything that's going on in the house, yada, yada, yada. So, come to find out, like, she is stressed out. She's just trying to explain, like, I'm just trying to get my house. Like, at this point, sometimes your house gets to a point where you can't recover from it. Like, you almost need somebody to come and clean your house for you. And if somebody don't clean it for you, you're going to have like maybe a week or two off from work. And people don't have time for that. People got to work. You got to pay bills. They got to feed their family and themselves. Or unless you invite some of your friends over, your family, come over and help you, which people don't do that shit either. Again, I be saying this all the time. People will get dressed quick, fast, in a hurry to go to the club, to go do some foolishness. And it's not that it's foolishness, it's foolishness when your business isn't handled and you aren't taking care. Anytime you see me, honey, trust me, I love to go out and have a good time. When it's time for me to go out and have a good time, I don't do it that often, but when I do, I'm gonna let my hair down and have a great time. But best believe you see me somewhere, hair blowing in the wind, dancing, laughing, hee and ha. Please believe that my business is in order. Like, I can't even have fun when life is all over the place for me. But anyway, let me get back to the story. So 23, 24-year-old son, she got a 4-year-old son that has autism. Then she let the girlfriend move in, and she got pregnant. So I'm looking at the house. It's just like shit everywhere. The refrigerator's a mess on the inside. The stove hadn't been cleaned, seemed like in eons. The floors, the room, like everything was just. And the thing about it was that like gripped my heart was the fact that she was trying. It wasn't like she was just sitting up in there but she was the only one that was trying. So now, but at the same time, I don't know all the details and circumstances, but you allowed that girl to come live in your house. Now I'm sure your son probably wasn't helping before she got there. Then you let another adult come in the house, and she ain't helping. And then on top of that, then sat up there and got pregnant. So now you in the house, they not helping clean. Y'all not helping do anything in the house, but she's allowing it again. And you in there making babies. Y'all in the back room musty. You ain't in there cleaning nothing. And y'all just in there making babies so that you now you really don't have a reason to help clean up. So y'all are just all in there, and it is actually like depressing. Now that's something I don't think I could do, and I'm not judging. You do what you want, that's your life. But I'm like, even if that was the case, some people they okay with stuff like that. But if you're gonna be up in the house, if I was okay with that, I ain't okay with that shit. But just say if I was, guess what? You're gonna have to help me clean. Like with her baby being autistic, it has to be a certain structure for him. It has to be a certain flow. Things need to be organized. Things need to be a certain way. But when you got all this chaos going on, like nothing's ever going to get done. And it's just going to get worse and worse. And just think, you already letting them stay in your house, and they already in there doing what they do. And now she's pregnant and not helping and not doing nothing. And you know, once the baby come on the scene, you really ain't going to do nothing. Baby hollering, dirty diapers, ain't nobody get sleep. Like, ain't nobody going to be up cleaning like that. Nobody. So it's just going to be a mess. And then, so now you're pregnant, you have a baby, guess what's going to happen again? You're going to probably end up having another baby because y'all still cooped up in the room, laying up on each other, not being productive, and then now all of this has just been brought down, you know, and then it's like, I guess it'd be a wrap once the baby get here because, you know, everybody has soft spots for the babies. Once the babies get, I can't kick them out. I can't kick you and that baby get out. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, my kids, no, don't play with me. Don't play with me like that. Like, I'm not going because it's too much. And as adults, we should be able to enjoy our lives too. You know, these kids just think that parenthood, yes, it goes on forever and beyond. I get it. But the things that you be doing for them when they babies and shit like that, it's like they act like that stuff's supposed to just last forever. Like, who does that? Like people are delusional, and people actually like they think that their mamas and parents are supposed to take care of them. Now I gotta have a conversation, divvy out those responsibilities and those chores so that you can come in and get you some rest from time to time. And even though they're staying there, and like I said, the dynamics might be different. I don't know if your adult child is working, you know, contributing to bills. And even if they are, you still got to help clean. Because shit, if I'm paying the bills and I'm here even by myself, I'm paying all the bills, but I still got to clean. So that's just not realistic. And I'm telling you, when people don't want to do stuff, they'll just come up with anything. They'll say anything. They'll do anything. So, you know, I don't like when the kids be trifling like that. Now, the only thing that's worse than a trifling child is a trifling parent. Bam. Because we do have instances where a child will move in for whatever reason, and the parent will take advantage of the child. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But I've seen that too. You know, the child may move in for whatever reason to give the parent some slight help and to be of an assist, or sometimes they'll move back so that they can be closer to the parent, may not have their own spot at the time. You just never know. Like I said, you could just pull it out the air. It could be any circumstance, but you still have to have these conversations with each other so that things can go a certain way. But I've seen it where the children will move home and like the parents just give up. Oh, my child here. And I'm telling you, the parents, they'll quit driving, they'll quit going to the store, they'll quit cleaning, they'll just quit. And I didn't raise these kids. It's time for you. Like, you just can't put that on people like that. Like, that's not cool. You just can't put that. Like, again, you have to have a conversation. Nobody's a slave to anybody. And there's nothing that can't be resolved. If you don't, if you just have a conversation, just have a conversation. And even just having a conversation, you can tell where people's minds are. Like, you can have a conversation and be like, y'all might not want to enter into that agreement at all, because it is a lot. It is it's a lot. But all in all, no matter if it's the parent, the kid, or anything, like, don't disrespect me. You can't like disrespect me and talk crazy and don't help. Like, that's not, you're not even living in reality. That's not even reality. And it shouldn't be that way. Like, for me, like my prime, like my dream would be to have a compound and have all this property. And I would love for my kids to stay, we all stay on the same land, not necessarily the same house, but on the same land so that we can help each other and assist, but we're not right there up on each other like that. If we had to be in the same spot for whatever reason, like in the same space, I believe that we would be able to get along. When we're getting along like now, we just know, everybody just have to know and be okay with respecting each other, respecting your space and everything in between. Because it's not easy, like dealing with people. And like I said, society has done an amazing, immaculate job of basically just disassembling community and disassembling um structure. Like, it has done a phenomenal job. Society has done a phenomenal job. Like, even if somebody not living in your house, just say they come in and stay out of town and they'll be there for a few days. I've seen where people fall out in a few hours because people are just so conditioned to being assholes and not helping and letting their ego run the show all the time. Don't do that. We are in a place right now where we truly, 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 truly need each other. And then on top of that, like, you don't want to damage your relationship with your family. Kids, whether they 20 or whether they're 60, they're still children. They'll still be your children or our children or whatever the case may be. So you don't ever want to burn bridges and put a bad taste in people's mouths and vice versa, because what I have learned, you don't ever know who you're going to need and when you're going to need them. And you always, no matter what kind of shit going on in the world, everyone always immediately goes to like their parents and closest family members. Like, you be out in the streets acting a fool. And then when the going gets tough and it's time for the tough to get going, the going is you going to your parents' house. You're probably going to your parents' house or to a sibling or just your next of kin. That's where you're going. So don't be an asshole. Be nice and be kind so that when you do go to a person and you need help, they'll be like, okay, well, we just need to have a conversation about it. And I'm sure that we'll be able to figure this out together. And if they coming to you or if you going to them, it can be the same thing. You have to swallow their pride and be like, hey, I need some help. I know this may not be the most ideal situation, but yada, 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 yada. And if you move a certain way and your character is a certain way, people really don't mind dealing with you. It's just we live in a time where people do not want to do the right thing. People love to take advantage. And unfortunately, it just seems like it's always the people that are closest to us. And that just put you in a spot where you can't help them, or probably most of all, you don't even want to help them. And sometimes you should, maybe you need to be in a position where you don't get any help. Sometimes people need to be over there somewhere and think about some things. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't know how to act and you don't know how to do and you don't like you ain't nobody just gonna sit there trying to help you and be putting up with a bunch of mess. Like if someone is allowing you to stay in your home, whether you are working, helping paying bills, or whatever the case may be, I just feel like you should be indispensable. Should nobody be up and behind you talking about, I need you to wash the dishes. Can you wash the clothes? Can you sweep the floor? Can you get the crumbs? Can you dust? Can you clean up the back? Can you clean up? Like, should nobody have to do it if somebody's helping you? Make yourself indispensable. For the ones that are trying to take advantage. And for the parents that are dealing with these unruly, ungrateful ass kids, y'all are just gonna have to get strong out here. Put your foot down. If you're not already in therapy, go to therapy, because I know that can be a big transition. Putting your kids out or something. Like I'm telling my kids, they do not even play with me because I will do it. Like if my peace is compromised, we got to figure something else out. I'm not going to be sitting here in my own home feeling some type of way. You know what I'm saying? And we've all done it before. Like, I'm not saying like I've just been this way all my life. Like, no, it has taken a lot to happen, a lot of growth, a lot of trial and error. But I'm telling you, it worked. And I go to a lot of homes. So if I'm on here, I never disclose names and locations and people, or, I don't ever do any of that. But when I tell you I see a lot, I see a lot. And people, not even just people, like I'm taking myself out, but we all have so many commonalities. It is insane. The same things that so many people go through with, but so many people are so tight-lipped. So I'm just trying to create this space here, so that we can talk about these things, not to judge, so that we can heal and so that we can get some results and we can make some things happen. Because guess what? Just like I was talking about the client that I had with the sons, and he had the girlfriend and all of that stuff. You just think if the son with his girlfriend, y'all already starting off like that. You already being inconsiderate and not helpful and dragging your mama through the ground. Like, you're going to get that shit back, first of all. But it's like, if you think your life is going to be easy with no structure, and it's like one day you're going to be in that same boat and you're going to see that again. You're going to see that again. A lot of reason I do what I do and move the way I move with my kids is because some things, like, I just don't want to deal with. I'm not saying that I'm going to be the exception, but what I'm saying is I'm going to try my best, my best. And then sometimes we feel like our best isn't good enough because sometimes stuff do fall through the crack. But I want to do my best because I want my kids to be in a stable space while they're transitioning through this life. And I want, if I ever have like grandkids, I guess, I want them to be born into a space where they're structured. And I want them to mind, and I want them to do right. But their parents got to do right. But then their parents got to do right, which is me. Like, I got to do right by my kids so that they can do right by their kids. And their kids do right by their kids. It's just a domino effect. That's all it is. It's just life being recycled over and over and over again. So if you're letting stuff just flow into a river of shit, that's just what it's gonna be. So don't expect anything different. Don't be sitting there with your lip poked out and feeling some type of way, because if you don't put that work in, you're just only gonna get the results of the work you put in, or you didn't put in. So it's just more than just, you need to clean up. It's like, I want better for my kids and I want better for their kids, so that you can just change the whole trajectory. They'll be able to say, hey, I come from a family where, hey, we help each other. I come from a family, hey, we look out for each other. Shoot, I come from a family like we don't leave our parents hanging. We don't sit there and watch them work their faces off and be stressed out and feeling some type of way and anxious and unhappy and not living life the way it need to be lived. Like, we all gonna be happy. We all can be happy. So we just have to talk about these things, and we have to help one another. So like I said, I'm not an expert on just any one particular thing or anything at all, but I really do hope that this helped you all in some type of way, or provided some type of comfort or any ideas. Like, I don't know, but I really enjoyed being here tonight. And I hope that you all have a fabulous rest of your week. I love and appreciate you all for being here, not only today, but all the other times you supported me and catching my replay and all of that. So I'm not quite sure what I've decided on for my next topic, but I'll just make sure to make it good for y'all. Thank y'all so much, and I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you the first Tuesday in November. Love you all, and bye.
Why do I need to be good all the time? I'm wrapped around his finger, but he is mine. Don't care what they say, too late anyway. Why do I need to be good all the time? No drama, no drama, yeah. No drama, no drama.